huge presence here. You definitely worried that
I did remember who the support was. Erwin Booz. I apologize, sir. Meat Playground's #1 support, and he does like going for those aggressive champs like Blitzcrank. And we have seen, how strong he has been in the past.
And it looks like Meat Playground will actually be sticking with the subs. Going to be keeping Altec in there. Going to keep Roshan now in there also. But we'll see if they're going to be similar bans coming here. Game number 2. Maokai actually being banned out from IG. Interesting. And I think now IG also knows a little bit as to why you ban Morgana against Pobelter, and we'll see if they actually decide to go with it.
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of particularly interesting that they banned Maokai, because I don't know if I've seen NK play Maokai. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he plays it a lot, but we've seen, Maokai played from IG, so maybe, not really quite sure what their opponent's going to go with. Maybe they want to grab the Nunu themselves. They're not sure if they want to ban it out or not, so they're going to leave that decision up to Meat Playground. But we'll see, where they go with it. Jace is banned as well. So was Jace banned last game? I think he was. Yeah. All right.
Same opportunity, same team from Meat Playground banned him second. So Alistar.
Not the Morgana though.
TF is potentially open. York's also potentially open. Same thing with Vlad. So York and TF were the two that have escaped the bans this time around. And Corky actually going to be the first grab up for IG here.
Yeah, and Corky is so strong. I actually like Corky a little bit more than Graves. Graves has that burst AoE damage, but Corky has a little bit of a range advantage and has, that shredding that really works well against tanks that Graves doesn't necessarily have until he gets a little bit later into the game. So they're comfortable with that. They know that they can, try and snowball a lane with Corky's mobility and everything.
I see here now. I'm thinking there have been a few Korean teams and a few other Asian teams that have run Corky top, and I think this last game, game 1,
we've seen Corky top from like Void Boy in the past, and from V8 a long time ago. A number of teams.
We've seen that, but here's the thing, though. I think this is the first time, like in these brackets, game number 1 of this set was the first time I've seen IG run something standard. So now I'm wondering if they're thinking, like, well, we need to go back to the dairy farm. We need to go back to the cheese.
The only thing is PDD tends to run standard tops. If you want to go with the Corky pick top, by all means, I am, that would be exciting to see. I would be down for that. I just really would be surprised if we were to see that.
Yeah.
Pleasantly
you surprised at that.
We've been surprised by some of the stuff that IG has done in the past.
Yes.
And Meat Playground, they will get that Nunu and Sona combo, so they're happy with both of those.
Yep.
And IG probably going to go with Leon again, so we'll see whether or not they go with that or if they go with someone like a more traditional support. It's just they like being aggressive, and Leona fits that aggressive play style.
So Sona, Nunu going to be secured there from Meat Player on same jungle, same support as the last game. And, the Graves is still open and available for now. You got Skarner being considered here. And we've seen in the past how much IG loves that Skarner. Even in situations where they're at a disadvantage with the Skarner, you have so many slows and other things. Skarner, for the most part, usually pulls through. Game 1, not as much, but they seem to be sticking with them.
Yeah, and that's the key, is keeping an eye on Skarner and being able to not let him take any early advantages. Because we did see Illusion was able to get some nice early aggression. He was able to get the kill top lane. That helped snowball Shen a little bit. He was kind of running around the mid a little bit. But as long as they keep an eye on him, that's fine. But Skarner is a very strong jungler. I do think it's kind of interesting in the previous game, though. We saw him get the Philosopher's Stone first. And some of the games we've seen in the past, he'll rush that mobility boots and oracles, that traditional style that we've seen from a lot of foreign teams, and he didn't do that last time. So we'll see where they go with that. They do pick up the Leona, pretty much to be expected, but we'll see where Meat Playground's going to go now.
I'd like to see Pobelter grab the TF here, because I think IG may have left it open with the anticipation of grabbing it during their last 2 picks, but Morgana is also still open and available. And yep, that is Pobelter's bread and butter. It worked so well in game number 1, might as well go with it again and grab the Graves while you're at it. I'm just wondering if IG will actually grab that TF here.
Yeah, that is a possibility. They could also grab the Malphite to prevent Meat Playground from getting that same combo. But I think IG, the TF being open is huge. We have seen them play TF in the past. They have to be thinking something different. I'm not sure that they want to go into the same situation. I mean, they could go into the same game plan and know that Corki, has a little bit more mobility than Varus, and that was an issue with Varus in the previous game, that lack of mobility. So they could go for aggression there, but
the Shen is also open too here.
Yeah. And the Shen just makes so much sense as a pick. They could go Diana Shen, though. That would be extremely aggressive. The only concern is I'm not sure Diana has the killing potential to take down Morgana.
And they also do recognize that unless they take both, I mean, whichever one they don't grab, Me Player is going to grab the other. So they've kind of picked themselves into a strange situation here. Maybe going for the Mordekaiser, looking to get that shove in mid. It's going to be super, super passive. Just going to be an absolute farm fest. Try and get that golden 200 creeps before the 20 minutes. But that will be those will be the picks, Mord and Shen, the last two for IG.
Yeah, and I really like what they're doing with their team. I mean, it is basically the same team comp as last time, but the Shen, again, is such a strong pick for them. They were able to get a couple of counter ganks down bottom. They can tower dive very safely and know that they shouldn't be that concerned there. Meet Playground now, they have to kind of make the decision. Malphite would work versus this team. It would give them, if everyone is clumped up for Invictus Gaming and they get the Malphite ultimate, then that would be strong. The only concern is Corki will have the mobility to get away from Malphite. And if they can't kill people with that Malphite ultimate like right away in the AoE, then they're going to struggle in those longer fights because they don't have as much sustained damage as IG does, and IG has a very tanky team. They have this quad core front line for that superior processing power in those fights. But I mean, so I'm kind of curious whether or not Xhazard might go something a little bit more aggressive, but he is going to stick with the Malphite. So they're running basically the same team comp. The only difference now, Malphite can't get that Varus like last time. They have Corki, who's a little bit more mobile, and then Graves is actually a little bit shorter ranged than Corki was in the previous game. So he's going to be a little bit in a more dangerous situation than the previous game. He still has a lot of protection for his team. He still has the Morg shields, the Malphite ultimate, Sona as well. And, they're all going to clump right into his buckshot. He's just going to be ready to just explode on him. But if they can catch him out of position, if they can catch Graves out of position, it's going to be kind of difficult for them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Altec go with a cleanse here. The only concern is it doesn't cleanse through the Skarner ultimate, but it would help against both Mordekaiser, Shen, and Leona, all three of them. But we'll see. It seems he is going with that aggressive laning phase, so he wants to make sure that he's strong enough to pick up kills.
Now, got to mention it, too, because you've been seeing it quite a bit lately. Is the possibility for a lane swap here?
That's true. That is definitely a possibility. I mean, Graves is one of the best pushers in the game, so you always have to consider it going up against a Graves.
So we're gonna check the room pages on the changing members here of both teams. Most of it's actually gonna be staying pretty much the same because we have pretty much like 70-80% the same champs that we had last time. Just a few changes here and there. Going to be a Mordekaiser there for Invictus. Got a lot of health. You got some move speed and some AP. It's not too bad. Look at the masteries, 2109. Not too bad. Pretty typical of a Mord. And then we're going to be looking at Corki this time onto Full Eye. What's he got in terms of runes?
I think
pretty
didn't
standard.
We see a game with Mord on Invictus Gaming recently, though? Because I know we've at least seen the Mord Skarner combo, and usually one of the best counters to Mord in that mid lane is a jungler like Skarner, and Skarner has the mobility to pull Mord out of position. Since Mord lacks mobility, you can catch him out off guard, and you have the damage to take him down. However, when you have that Mord Skarner combo, they're both incredibly tanky, and they have a lot of sustained damage early in the game. And we've seen fights recently. Which game was it?
Well, actually, it was Meat Playground actually played Mord against Orbit game 2, and Orbit had the Skarner then. So that's what we saw.
That is a common thing to run Skarner against Mordekaiser, but we've seen recently, or at least I remember seeing a game recently where Skarner Mordekaiser, that combo when you run it together is just so brutal early on in the game, and they can run in 4v2 people basically. You just run straight at them. You're tanky enough. You have enough AOE damage all around you. That's fine. Don't worry about trying to find it in your handy dandy notebook.
But
it's a very strong combo early on in those team fights, and they rather than going with that Anivia, who's a little bit more passive, and they never got the Anivia off successfully in the previous game. They never had a full Anivia fight, which is that you want to play defensively, all group together, and pick off members. They never had that. So now they have a team that's just rush on top of the enemy, have all these bruisers rush on top of them, and just bully them around.
Yeah, even looking back at game number 1, there's only one time where I can actually even remember like an Anivia wall being dropped at a critical point in a team fight, and that's when we're trying to recover their back at their own blue buff.
Yeah.
And it's just like usually that's usually a good call, a good tell of a team that has a real good Anivia. You got real good presence because the walls are on point absolutely and helping make the fights happen. But when you're in a disadvantaged position like that, it's just like it becomes an escape tool if you can get there.
Yeah, no, it's it is very strong on both offensive and defensive. So or in both applications. So we'll see, how Invictus is going to do now with this team. They do have to worry about Morgana versus Mordekaiser, not because Morgana necessarily has enough damage on her own, but Mordekaiser, is very immobile. Morgana can catch him out of position, try and take him down with that ultimate. They can try and get some kills from there. But we'll see how Invictus Gaming is going to turn it around. They do have a very strong mid-game team. If they can keep even, then they can just bully around Meat Playground.
Yeah, and hopefully the ward coverage will also be there to catch things up, because remember, these are both mid champs that will very commonly double on back for the Wraith camps, attempt to steal the opposing Wraith camps also. And you also saw in Game 1 how critical it was to help Meat Playground get that win when they did pick off the early Skarner with the Oracles. And I don't think Illusion ever actually rebought after that.
Yeah, I think he did eventually, but it was a while.
It was way too late.
Maybe he didn't. And
yeah.
If he did, it was way too late. They were in a defensive spot. They were being bullied around by Meat Playground. They needed to get into their item builds. They couldn't keep on spending money on oracles and wards and whatnot. But we'll see, how they factor that in this game. If they, maybe go for a little bit more aggression than the previous game, or if they kind of play more defensively. I kind of expect that IG is going to look to have more team fights early on, and now they recognize, Meat Playground, this is what they're about. They look to have these big team fights early on in the game, just pick up 1 or 2 kills, but very safe big team fights. So okay, we won't be caught off guard. We won't be caught by the Malphite teleporting in, trying to pick up a kill or something, but we'll be able to maybe put a little bit more pressure on them on all sides of the map so that they can't group up. If they split and put pressure on both top and bot independently, then that might pull Meat Playground off guard.
Once again, Zhao going for the full-on 5 wards, 2 pots. Very brazen of a support. I love that kind of play. NK Inc., he wants to get that early ward. He did buy it. Nunu doesn't necessarily need boost 3 pots, but he's actually made a very bad spot for himself. Did it actually
get it?
No, did not.
You know who always used to buy 5 wards and 2 pots?
Who?
Locust, and he was kicked off Dignitas for it.
Oh, no,
that's not true exactly.
No,
but he did used to go a lot of wards.
It was pots 3 sight 1 vision.
It changed game to game. It was a joke regardless.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, we'll see how Meat Playground is going to play. They are playing kind of defensively right now.
Yeah, and you're also knowing Roshan. No pink ward on him this time actually to start. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's actually going for the boots first. So I think Meat Playground is actually looking to get even more harassed down in the bot lane this time. Just get that movement, to get that brush control, and just get Sona queuing from the brush. At least this time a little bit more often than usual.
I think maybe this is a little bit more defensive play. So the pink getting that brush control is huge, but if they can't harass Leona safely, then there's no reason to have that brush control. Like if they have vision of Leona and you're not harassing her, then what's the point? So I think he maybe is a little bit more scared this game. He recognizes how much damage Corki has and that quick burst potential. So maybe wants to sit back a little bit. Since Graves is a little bit shorter range, they'll get vision with the ward so that Leona can't jump them. But I think maybe he doesn't think that he's going to have enough damage to harass down. So we'll see how they play. Nunu does hold on to his smite. Skarner, he's holding on to his as well. So both junglers will be able to transition from there. And NK Inc. right off the bat.
Oh man, both
coming in. Illusion recognizes it though. He's like, oh, NK Inc., you stole my Wraith the other game. I don't care.
NK Inc. actually going for the quick level 2 down onto Zitai here in the mid. A little bit extra harass, but you see he did get the blood boil first for the extra movement speed and the attack speed. But I think he also recognized that Illusion is not too far behind. Pings going down from NK Inc. by his red lights circling around to get on out of there. But Pobelter, did he actually get vision on Skarner leaving the jungle?
He did not.
I don't think he did. But meanwhile, down bot lane, you got Altec looking to juke, getting some damage down on a full eye. He's only level 2, does not have the Valkyrie
He's
yet.
gone.
Roshan, can you actually get the damage? First blood actually going to be grabbed on the support even. So once again, bot lane is looking to be ridiculous for me Playground.
Almost every single game we see with Invictus Gaming, they go, once they hit level 2, they try for those kills, and they try, and snowball the lane very quickly. But it's turning against them here. So Meat Playground was ready for it. They were ready for the aggression. And not only did Corki almost die, but Leona almost died as well. And Illusion is trying to abuse NK Inc. here.
He's not
That's
giving
dangerous.
up on this. This is very dangerous. And the first time around, still sticking around was very dangerous, but now it's just getting a little bit even more risky. Pobelter looking for the bind down as Zitai. PD also looking to...
Skarner has Pobelter, though. He's chasing him down with some damage. Pobelter might have to flash. He does.
Yeah.
So the flash is down. And that's how strong Skarner is. He hasn't even taken much damage, but he's able to just bully everyone around, say, get out of here. This is my jungle now. I have claimed it as my own. Notice the little marks on all the trees. And he's going to be able to try and steal this red from NK Inc.
But while Illusion's circling around, trying to wait for his opportunity, NK Inc., he was able to go back, grab the small golems, and actually hit 3. So now he has a snowball, looking to get the slow down onto Illusion. PD's not too far away. He does have the taunt available, but nice flash. Nice flash! Predicting the taunt to come in from PD, but this is a red still contested and will finally be picked up by Illusion.
Yeah,
that was so much time dedicated just to steal the red. And even at that, I mean, IG's red is also actually still up. So NK Inc., it's Nunu. He can sustain very well. If he's getting low, he can just snack on a minion. He may actually just swoop on in and attempt for a steal of his own right now.
Yeah, but he is a little bit behind, and not having that flash, it makes counter jungling very, very difficult. That's why he wasn't safe to try and steal his own red, because he wouldn't be able to get out if he needed to. So as a result, that aggression, even though it's set mid and top behind a little bit, they were out of their lanes and whatnot, it was actually a great situation for Invictus. So not only are they able to take the red, but they're setting Nunu behind, and that's the best situation. You want to team counter Nunu, and actually NK Inc., they do spot him out. He's running in for his jungle. They might be able to surround him.
Pings down onto Nunu as he's entering an illusion, was in the brush, and now he recognizes he's being chased by a little bug here. He's actually, no, he didn't actually see him until just then.
He's trapped. Leona's coming up. Morta's coming up as well. NK Inc. is almost surely going to go down. He's
got the Blood Boy on. Thankfully enough, he's actually lost his blue buff, so he's not going to be passing that on to anybody here. But again, this is all time wasted here. This is Zitai. The kill would have actually happened more than likely without any damage assistance from Mordekaiser. But that's more time for Pobelter to actually take control of the lane, start to get that farm, but that was an assist. So it does kind of break even. It's a weird situation, but this is, and also a little bit of a change of hands up top lane. Hazard was the one being aggressed game 1, but now it looks like he's got a little bit of the upper hand. Illusion there looking for damage down on Roshan now, but he does get out of there. He does flash, gets to the tower, he will be safe.
And fortunately, Illusion was the one to hold on to that red, I believe. No, Mordekaiser, did he get it? I think Mordekaiser got it.
No,
that's his rusty shield. I
I
was like, what the hell is going on? So Skarner was able to pick up the red. That's very fortunate for them. I mean, Mordekaiser can't really make the best benefit of the red, but it would still help him a little bit.
Yeah.
But NK Inc., I was a little bit surprised he went for that counter, that invade, considering his flash was down. So it was very dangerous. And then he saw Skarner chasing him, and rather than trying to run out immediately, he put himself deeper into trouble. Leona jumping onto Altec, but they will be able to back off and actually get some damage onto Corki. Nunu is trying to chase them down, and now that Sona's here, they might actually be able to pick up another kill.
NK Inc. still looking for more harass. They got the slow going down a job, but will they be able to get anything happening on the Sona? You got Shen taunting on in, following the ultimate. Altek's in a little bit of trouble, and Roshan splitting off the path. Pobelter is making his way down bot, but the kill has already happened. NK Inc. is gone.
Can you check how much experience Shen has?
I will.
Because I think, so he actually just hit 6, and it was barely, but Pobelter picks up the kill to Leona very quickly, just using the ultimate, doesn't want to, have to figure out anything. So Shen actually just hit 6, the beginning of that fight, and was able to teleport in. So they were able to bait out a little bit, but really nice timing. And actually Morgana is walking right into Mordekaiser. He will be able to force her back, but really nice job. Pobelter using the ward, recognizing, all right, mid's not here. I could be dead if he's sitting here waiting in the bush for me. So watches out for himself.
Yeah. I'm also surprised that we didn't see the teleport coming from Hazard, but considering the uses we saw earlier, I think he's a little bit shaken up, recognizing, the early teleports I did, it wasn't too much of a huge team contribution. My team didn't actually need it, so I feel he's a little bit more hesitant to use it. But considering that early lead that he had there in the top lane, he's just going to be still using some of that experience.
Well, also,
try and keep things even.
one thing to consider, Shen actually, I think, teleported just out of range of Xhazard's vision, but I'm not sure on that. But if he did, not only is teleport, I think teleport is slightly slower than Shen's ult. I think they're about the same. But Shen was already down there, which means that Sona was already instantly dead. She was, bursted down very quickly. So if Malphite had ulted down there, what would he have done? He would have teleported down there and been like, wow, this was great, guys. Time for me to leave. We did nothing.
Well,
so he just saved it. There wasn't really, a big opportunity for him.
They probably would have secured the Leona kill without help from Pobelter, but then again, you kind of want the kill on the Pobelter so he can actually get stronger and be as big of a presence as he was last game.
Yeah, and now Xhazard, he is at the very least even in that lane, if not slightly ahead.
Yeah.
So that's very nice for me, despite the kill for Shen. And we are seeing that same double gold pretend Shen build. They are even in CS, so he is slightly ahead in gold. But we'll see how they continue.
So, and at the very least, though, you did see Zhao's actually been focused quite a bit down there in the bot lane, and it also shows and is reflected in the experience. Roshan now just hit 6, still about half a level over Zhao, so it's going to be a nice window of opportunity when the Leona ult is actually not even ready yet for a little bit more aggression coming in from Meat Playground, but the lane is actually very well pushed up. They're controlling the lane beautifully.
Yeah, and that's usually what you want to try and do as Graves because of your push control and the fact that he can instant clear waves. You can kind of maintain where the lane is going to be by either pushing into the tower very aggressively or whatnot. And they know they can't trade harass very well with Corki and Leona because Corki's range advantage over Graves. So that would be a kind of dangerous situation. Maybe Leona would pick him off. So they're comfortable with just sitting back and farming. Sona can try and control that lane a little bit. Yeah, they do have that ward there, so they could try and pick off more. But for the most part, I think NK Inc. is going to kind of sit back a little bit, make sure he can continue to get up to speed to Skarner.
Yep. And he also...
Skarner's going for a steal, though?
Again. No, he's looking to... Yeah, he's got the blue Wraith. He's going to be backing on out. Will he loop on around to the red again? I wonder. No, he will not. But up top, Xhazard is pushed out a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but here comes Skarner. He is 6. He does have the Impale available. Will he be able to close the gap? Xhazard, yes, walks right on in.
He missed the ult.
Did he? Wow.
He tried to ult over the wall, but I don't know if you can ult over that wall. If you can, then he missed it. So he was trying to get out of there, but even so, he's able to get the flash out, so he is okay.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. Ultimate for ultimate at the very least. It's not too bad. Zitai looking for to push in mid. Pobelter not going to be having a whole lot of it, but yeah, Mordekaiser has actually started to edge out a little bit and farm. They got the shield popped up by Zhao. Roshan with the stun down onto Zhao. Does a little bit of a dance right in front of the Sona, but no connect on the kill there. Nunu also having a little bit of a presence top lane. You got the flash coming in. Illusion, he's making himself known here, but will be just a little bit too late. Plus, he did use the ult just now. That is not available for quite a while.
I'm surprised Leona didn't ult, though. Try and pick off the Graves.
I am too, yeah.
But I don't know. I think they were a little bit concerned he might dash out. They wouldn't be able to get it, so they do back off. Fulai will be safe to farm here and try and keep up with Graves. The Graves does have a 20 CS advantage right now, along with an extra assist. PDD. Oh,
wow,
it didn't cancel. The shield didn't break, and when the shield doesn't break on Malphite, it doesn't cancel teleports.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I learned something today.
Because you actually have to take damage, and when you have a shield, any shield, if you have any shield, it has to break the shield before you actually have to physically take damage in order to stop the teleport.
Huh. Learning a little something new every day here on the IPLLoL stream. Bot lane still doing pretty good for Meat Playground at the moment. You guys still a consistent level lead on both the AD and support on the over the opposing Invictus Gaming. Pobelter still here in mid looking at his farm. Justing 10 does have a little bit of a down a little bit of experience here on Zitai, but it's a Mordekaiser is all he does.
But Skarner's bottom trying to pick up the kill onto Graves. Can't quite get in range.
Yep.
He does dash out, so he has the vision. The mobility boots is huge. I mean, very quickly you can just get right into flash range, and it's very difficult to defend against, but really nice awareness by Altic.
But with this, though, even though the Skarner did make himself known, that's not dissuading Meat Playground from continuing their push down here. And just the harass from Sona on the full eye is just monster.
Yeah, Roshan's done a really nice job because it's almost entirely Sona. Graves has been a little bit concerned. He doesn't want to get too close. He might get picked off, but
yeah.
Graves has done a nice job controlling the lane, but it's all about Sona. She's been, just harassing him constantly, and Meat Playground, they are going for another dragon. We saw the dragon control they had in the previous game, so that's going to be a nice little gold lead for them.
And they didn't even need to get the kill. They just have the satisfaction of making Full Eye back, and has more than enough time to pick that one up. Credit going to Alltech, and that's going to be a good easy 1,000 gold, which is about how far they are ahead at the moment here on the 14th minute. Xhazard still looking to deal, and now PD's starting to regain some of that experience, some of that gold that he's been losing off here in the first few levels. And we saw that around a little bit past this time, PD was taking a consistent 2-level lead over Xhazard, but now it seems not to be the case. But Xhazard is out of mana. He will be forced to back, and it's going to be leaving a little bit more time for PD to farm there in the top lane.
Yeah, Shen has a little bit of an advantage in harass against Malphite, but they both have so little damage and are so tanky that it's kind of hard for either one to get a kill in a 1v1 situation. They do just kind of tend to farm, so that's a pretty passive lane. Fulai trying to get some damage on this turret. We'll take it down to about half so that they can maybe take it later. Both turrets are in that kind of situation, and Pobelter trying to check out Zitai. He actually hits a minion, so trying to get the bind. He was kind of hoping to time it so that the minion would die just as that bind was thrown off, but not quite able to follow it up.
I can imagine like Zitai holding one of the wraiths in a chokehold. Is like, here, bind this.
Yeah.
He was just holding it hostage. He's like, nah, I will not be bound. You do not do this to me.
Think of the children.
No, think of the wraiths. Think of the neutrals. Think of the neutrals. They don't take sides. They don't do anything. You got Pobelter still looking to resist this push, and now the lead on Zitai is actually looking quite impressive because it's actually now surpassed to a full level advantage over Morgana here in the mid.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job of farming. He is a little bit ahead of Pobelter.
The wolf camps.
Yeah. And Pobelter was even in this lane in the previous game, but now Malphite is actually even with Shen, which is a big improvement over the previous game, where PDD was just crushing Xhazard. So, that's kind of a lot of why he hasn't used that teleport yet. He's been a little bit more passive this game, but they're not picking up the same early game advantages that they had. They still have a 1k gold advantage. They might be able to get that. Pobelter trying to get the ultimate on Zitai. They should be able to grab this. Actually, I'm not sure whether or not they have enough damage, but the Nunu ultimate, it will try and seal the deal. Skarner's there along with the teleport in from Shen, so they're going to turn this around beautifully. Nice. Pobelter does drop along with the Q, and NK Inc. out of position, but he's trying to get Malphite in range for Zitai, but does almost drop himself. I think the Ignite is just enough to take it down, and he does go down. Xhazard gets out the ultimate, but unfortunately they are going to pursue him. So really quickly, IG completely turning this around. They pick up 3 kills in a row against Meat Playground.
I'm not quite sure why Pobelter went in for that. It was just... You haven't seen Skarner for a while. You gotta think that he's gonna be somewhere nearby. Granted, yes, tier 1 tower in bot did fall, but tower for tower plus a few kills is kind of an odd trade.
I think that's why they were comfortable with the Mordekaiser pick, because Nunu doesn't really give you a lot of damage in ganks. The slow, it does allow a sustained damage dealer to continue the pursuit. You can prevent someone from getting away. However, Morgana is burst. She doesn't have that sustained damage. So real quickly, they couldn't kill Mordekaiser. He was just too tanky for them. Yeah. Even with the ultimates they were setting up, the Shen ultimate, kind of saved him. But you have to expect that Shen ultimate. IG is able to get the turnaround, so really nice job there. And then they do lose that mid tower. So first tower blood is, actually first tower blood was already to bot lane, but second tower blood at least. They get second tower blood. So nice job from IG to pull this game back into their favor.
And granted, IG, they did manage to get quite a bit off of that fight. Meat Playground did get the dragon earlier, so that sequence of events, those few kills, mitigated quite a bit of it, but there's still a 1k deficit now for Meat Playground. Meanwhile, in the mid, you got Zitai looking for more damage onto NK Inc. He blood balls himself, he will get out of there, but Xhazard now taking way more damage than he's used to there in the top lane. Here comes Illusion. Does have the blue buff. The Impale is up, and will he be using it? Yes, he will. Here comes Shen. Can he follow up with the taunt? No, cannot drag him far enough.
Yeah, so he will get out of there, but again, now that the constant pressure, from IG is working out, and now that Shen is ahead in that lane, that's going to be a really dangerous situation. The Leona ultimate, it does hit Pobelter. He got the shield on a little bit too late, but he is safe still. The Leona ultimate's down, so that's actually a nice exchange for Meat Playground, but they are starting to group up. They do have that bot turret, and now they want to come mid. They want to, force some fights with the Morgana and Graves there.
Slow from NK going down onto Zhao. He's got the shield up, and walking on backwards, just smacking in the face, stunning for a moment, but still enough distance cleared for King to get another slow. You got the bind follow from Morgana. Nice quick kill there on a very curious Leona. But in the meantime, top tier 1 does fall. IG grabbing that to their credit. PD getting very low. Roshan getting caught out a little bit mid. He's very low, but Xhazard with the ult following up for all the damage. And here comes the snowball illusion. Meat Playground going to be just flipping this one back on over. 3 kills. You got those earlier. We're going to take a few back to an even game, 5-5.
And really poor ward coverage from both teams has resulted in these exchanges. And I think IG a little bit surprised. They're like, oh, we're into the point in the game where you're going to roam. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were quite there yet. So they were caught out of position. You know, Meat Playground did a really nice job of catching them out and picking up a couple of kills. They are in a good situation where they could probably take down this mid turret, and Malphite is still pressuring the top. So that's going to really build up their gold advantage, even though it's even right now. And actually,
nice
the bind, he's going down. The Sona ultimate is just too much for him, and Altec picks it up. Sona actually picking up the kill.
And the damage was such where the Shen shield, the ultimate was used and was not enough to protect him. So very good burst from Meat Playground, grabbing the tier 1 in the mid. How's top tier 1 doing? It's about half, not too bad. And it's about that time when Dragon's about to pop back up. So Meat Playground, they will be there when it comes back up. A little bit of harass coming from Full Eye. You got the bind over the wall down onto Zhao, stuck in the brush. Soften them up just a little bit, but illusions there. They want to contest this. There is the dragon. The spawn has happened. Ward's still actually in the pit, but there is no oracles. There are no pinks here for Meat Playground. But it doesn't look like IG's going to contest it. They just want to push up the mid.
Yeah, with the Sona and Morgana, it would be too easy for Meat Playground to kite them out or try and pick someone off with the Morgana bind. So it's a really dangerous situation for IG. They don't even want to deal with it. But Meat Playground, they're 2K ahead right now, and it is to that point in the game where their team comp is very strong. They can pick up those single kills with Morgana. Graves, he's getting deep into his build. He did start off with the Bloodthirster, so he had that earlier, and that's really strong to get your late game, push it a little bit more forward, as opposed to holding out for the Infinity Edge. So we'll see where he goes from there, but after picking up the Dragon, a couple of kills, he's probably pretty close to finishing a Phantom Dancer as well.
Z-Tai may be caught here. Pobelter finds him, stealing the Wraiths. The bind just barely missing. Z-Tai hugging that wall in retreat as he's going back home through the river. So good on him to get that steal, but he may want to stop doing that soon, because as the game continues on, those attempts are getting very, very risky. But it is a 20-minute mark. He has gotten his 200 farm. He did hit that milestone.
Yeah, he's at 230. He's definitely pretty strong right now. And actually, the ward does spot him out, so Pobelter will try and get out of there. Mordekaiser trying to get the kill. In the meantime, Skarner with the pull back on the Roshan and the Leona ultimate as well. They'll be able to pick that up. But Pobelter, he wasn't able to capitalize on the Mord. Mord wasn't able to take down Pobelter. So Pobelter was able to back out of there with the ultimate. Will be safe, but that's actually to Mord's advantage again, because Mord's ultimate is down, and it allows Mord to continue the game and continue farming. I feel like I have to say the full names. Mordekaiser versus Morgana, because I feel I'm listening to myself and I'm just imagining.
Morg. It's like a sitcom or something. Nice.
Mordekaiser able to steal the Wraith over the wall from Morgana. Really nice play there. Yeah, Z-Tai's done a fantastic job of keeping his farm up this game. And even though Morgana was very even with him earlier in the game, he's really just pulled ahead.
Very well done.
The last like 5 minutes.
Very well done. Extremely well done. And Pobelter is still at a bit of a disadvantage. How far is it actually? It's still actually a little bit more than a full level behind. Taunt from PD, looking for more damage on the Xhazard. And I think I've seen a lot. I've seen more ultimates from Xhazard actually in retreat than actually going for these team fights. But then again, he spent a lot of his time in the top lane. He's being very conservative about that teleport. I believe he actually used it just to get back into the lane during one of those fights. After following one of those fights, which is still a good use, and the fact that he's still staying in the lane, still farming at the 20-minute mark does speak a little bit as to how this game is progressing. Still some passivity in the play. It's not exactly a high kill game, and Gales are actually still pretty even. The gold is actually even also, about 500 gold separating these two teams at the moment.
Yeah, the concern, though, is where is that gold? And a lot of it is stacked on Mordekaiser, which is great, but that means that also Corki is very weak compared with Graves at this point in the game. So that's kind of, a dangerous situation for them. AD carry superiority always pulls you through in the end, or, is usually a good situation.
Even look at the supports. I mean, that's a near about 1.5K. separating the supports. And that's kind of
perfect
absurd
for them. You know, if they want all the gold to be poured onto Sona, that is absolutely fine with IG. So they will be very strong. PDD actually trying to prevent X-Hazard from going down to meet with his team. He will be caught out a little bit, but with that Mormogs, I feel like he's just too tanky. Even if they, I mean, if they 5v1 him, clearly they're going to be able to take him down. But that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and that is the curse of having such a passive lane, is that you do your late opponents. They do farm up, they do beef up, they can actually get into a few more later item builds. And Warmogs on Shen, when you have the opportunity to get it, can be an absolute pain to deal with. Because he's already tanky as is, he scales off of health on some of his stuff, and it's just a bad situation to be in sometimes. And plus, especially someone like that, Flash taunting right into the middle of your team, looking to soak up all the damage. Illusion on the back line gets the Impale down onto the Sona. Skarner going down, Corky going down, teleport coming on in from Shen, looking to prevent some of the damage, but it's not going to be enough. You got the double kill coming in for Meat Playground. X-Hazard flashing over the wall, scaring PD off a little bit more, and once again, the Shen is ignored. Meat Playground cleaning up, and the Baron's right there. You might as well just take it.
And that's the concern with a heavy melee team coming against an all AoE team, is that you're clumped up, you're ready to go down. Graves throws off the vision to try and zone, and Sona doing a nice job of zoning PDD as well. As they take that, there's the bind, they pick up the kill, there's the ace. But the previous fight, so they were all clumped up and ready for that AoE, but Pobelter was on point with his Black Shield, because that was the #1 thing for their team, is if IG can pick off Graves, they can try and snowball a fight. And that's Skarner and Mordekaiser. They are, you know, #1 and 2 at picking off short-range ADs like Graves. They tried to jump in there. Skarner coming in from behind. He was trying to sneak up on Graves.
Let's take another look at this fight, because it was just absolutely amazing.
But even though IG tried to run kind of a diversionary tactic, they tried to distract them in the front. Even though that happened, Pobelter, he threw off the shield. So the second he saw Skarner, he went, oh, you're coming in behind, threw off the shield onto Graves. As a result, it didn't matter, and they were already cleaning house with their AoE. And having Graves alive is just, you know, the icing on top of the cake. So they're able to pick them up very easily. They all just clumped perfectly for that ultimate from Morgana and Malphite.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And now we are going to be back to live in just a second here. So Baron buff on to Meat Playground at the moment. They're making the best use of it while they can, pushing on up here in the mid. You got Malphite, he's top lane. You got Skarner confused, grabbing the blue buff, and he's you got to recognize X-Hazard A. The mark has not disappeared. They may have still grabbed it, and is looking to duel here with the Malphite. And I'm noticing too, look at Illusion. I mean, the thing with both of these junglers, I mean, they're both a little bit lower in levels in comparison to most of their carries. And it also speaks to like how involved they've been with a lot of these ganks. And actually for most of the part, Skarner's been very involved with this team, but Nunu, he's just been like kind of like there on the sides, like, here, I'll help you if need be.
Yeah, and that was kind of a difference between this game and the previous game. Last game we saw NK was a lot more involved. Very early on in the game, Illusion had some early advantages versus NK Inc., and NK Inc. almost snowballed IG. So he went into the enemy jungle when his flash was down, you know, lost those kills, and I think he recognized, okay, I got to take a step back here because our bot lane's doing well. Pobelter's going to be fine mid. And rather than being such an aggressive, active counter jungler, he played a more reactionary role. He sat back to watch Skarner rather than, you know, forcing fights himself. And they played a lot more defensively this game. They didn't really force those early fights, so it kind of held off a little bit. But very quickly, they are dropping that turret. It does go down. And right now, IG, they can't force fights because of the strength of Meat Playground, and they can't wear them down because of the Baron regen. It's just too great. So Meat Playground, they can just bully them around and take those turrets.
And if anything's gonna have to happen, Shen needs to be there to be the frontline tank, to be there to help control the fights. And even then, as that pressure is all happening, he was too busy dealing with the top lane. So, and with that, speaking of the top lane,
he can't just ult in anymore because they're too squishy. They're gonna die before the Shen ult finishes.
And we saw that earlier. We saw that earlier on the Mordekaiser.
Oh, Morgana zoning him
in the back. He's trying to get away, but Pobelter says no. You got the snowball coming in, and he's trying to ult away, and they just ignore him, doing what he can. But X-Hazard actually a little bit too far out there into the base. A shutdown from Mordekaiser actually going down onto Malphite. There's still the tier 2 down, but the ghost of the former teammate is still traveling on, scouting ahead. Fulai getting caught out a little bit, and King looking to keep him slowed. Should be able to grab that kill, but Graves ducking in and out of the bush, looking for free damage wherever he can get it. Illusion caught by the bind. Z-Tai is still looking for more damage. Altec dashing out of the way. Polo Belter still out in front, looking to dissuade. There's the bind. There's a snowball. There's the kill finally. The long road through the jungle, and just still could not connect with anything more. And the rest of IG is still very weak, running back home, tails between their legs, if they can even get there, forcing the flash out from Zhao.
Yeah, even when they're behind IG, they're still pretty strong in those small fights, and they're pretty beefy, so they wanted to try and chase down Meat Playground and see if they could just make anything happen, but Meat Playground just kept on kiting them until they could just bind someone, and they just pulled IG out of position. Really nice play. Now they're going to get another inhibitor out of it. Most likely, it's very close. I don't think IG's going to want to force this again.
Yeah, and even then, look at all, as you were mentioning about the regen, you got the old Zhao coming on in. Morgana ult once again, teleport from X-Hazard. He's back in the fight. No big deal. Zhao going to be going down first, and Full-Eyed, the slow walk is the Valkyrie up. It is. He's just saving it for the last possible moment. Shen on the back. PD looking from afar as his base is being torn to shambles. Z-Tai out in front, looking to chunk out Altec. He wants that ghost. That would be huge, but Graves with the great notion. I am ulted by Mord. I just need to leave the base right now. X-Hazard with another kill onto Z-Tai. Double kill onto the Corki. PD now caught, and they were ignoring Shen until he's the last one remaining. Well, now he is. The cheese, the Shen stands alone. Is nice Zonias from Pobelter, and PD will finally go down for the ace and what will most decidedly be the game.
Yeah, very nice play from Meat Playground. And I think IG underestimated that Morgana pick. Leona coming in one last time, trying to stall them along with Skarner here. They can't hold off, but Leona does go down. The Nexus turret is down. They're going to pressure the Nexus very quickly. It's going to drop, and Meat Playground is going to take this series 2-0 versus Invictus Gaming. Really impressive play. That's the finals.
Wow.
They are going to be coming to IPL5 now, so it is going to be an NA win for the NA qualifiers, even though Invictus Gaming came in looking like favorites.
We were worried. We were talking about the office for a long time. It's like, man, Chinese team winning NA qualifier, that would be kind of weird.
It would have been cool, though.
It would have been amazing. It would have been very cool.
With how strong they've looked and the interesting lane matchups they've been showing us,
yeah.
You know, they might very well be one of the best teams in the world, and we've heard that a number of times. They just kind of fell behind against Meat Playground. Meat Playground with very solid play. They were trying a team that needs to be able to snowball fights, and they have that bruiser front line. Morgana completely shut down that front line, and then also had the Black Shield to protect Altec, and they were able to easily kite them. And that was the concern. Mordekaiser is very easily kiteable. Nunu, Sona, Morgana, they all allow you to do that. And as a result, Graves was fairly safe throughout most of the game. You know, there were a couple of cool fights at the end there where Shen teleported into the Skarner pool. They had the kill, and it was like, wow, that actually worked out for them. It looked like Shen was going to live, but then X-Hazard with a nice turnaround got the ult onto PDD, was able to take him down. So, again, really cool play from Meat Playground. They're really looking, a lot better. I mean, they've been an up-and-comer for a little bit now. Not that long ago. It was just like a month or so ago. They've had some ups and downs, but they're looking very strong currently.
Yep, and it's so weird because we've been seeing IG dominant through all these brackets, but the main difference here between the finals and the rest of the brackets they've been playing is that they played standard.
Yeah.
And look where it got them.
Well, they also, the bigger concern is not only did they play standard, they let Meat Playground have that same team comp 2 games in a row. And it was a more even game through the beginning of the game. Meat Playground didn't snowball early, but Meat Playground was in complete control of the fights. They were able to bully around IG with all of their AoE control. It was very nice play from them. IG wasn't able to snowball the bottom lane like we've seen them like to do in the past. They weren't able to get any sort of ganks or anything going off in the mid lane. But yeah, nice job from Meat Playground.
America's last hope. America's last hope. Meat Playground has done it, taken out IG in the finals of qualifier number 3, and will be there at the live event at IPL5 in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan, the official home of the IPL. Going to be great to see them
ending
there.
on a somber note.
A little bit. IGN.com/IPL5 for more info about the event and to get your tickets now because they're the cheapest they're ever going to be. Qualifier 4 online for NA and EU starts tomorrow. You want to sign up? Too bad. I warned you last week. the teams are already locked and sealed, but there's also still going to be at least one more live qualifier at the event.
That's
so
true.
if you want to be there, start booking all of your stuff now.
There's a lot of really good teams left out in the open.
There are.
I don't know. I'm assuming a couple of you guys have seen the NA qualifier, field. Who's already in it? We currently have TSM got an invite from the past. Dynamic, Meat Playground, and Curse are in it, which means that CLG, Dignitas, they haven't qualified yet. Orbit, Legion, all those kind of teams. But CLG and Dignitas first and foremost.
Yeah, it's a little strange because there's a very high possibility that one of them is not going to be here unless they fly on out for the live qualifier. CLG Prime or Dignitas may not actually be there.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
I hope they're going to be there. I hope one of them qualifies from the online qualifier or they come through the live.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to check that out. But once again, thanks, guys. Really impressive play from both these teams tonight. We're going to throw up a rebroadcast for you.
Okay.
We probably will take down the stream shortly.
Yep.
But otherwise, check out all the rest of the stuff. Check out IGN.com/IPL5. Buy your tickets.
Qualifier 4 starts tomorrow. We will see you then, guys. Good night.